Hi guys, it's me again. Today I just wanted to talk briefly about genuine love for self and others. So what that kind of means to me is being honest with yourself, being honest with the people around you, and really figuring out where that love is coming from for other people. So I'm going to pause for a moment so we can kind of take just that piece in and kind of think about maybe what love means to you and what have you given to and received out of relationships that were driven by love that you really felt like you needed. And I'm speaking on this today because in my book, Your Brain, Your Life, which is available through www.devotedessentialsnh.com, it's a story of acceptance, knowledge, awareness, self-discovery, and so I wanted to talk about the love piece of things because a lot of the time we think that we love another person or a thing, and in reality it's making us feel very, very good, and that can be confusing at times for our brains and for our hearts and for our bodies, because we want to feel really, really good, and most of the time we need to in order to function properly and at full efficiency. So it's good. It's great. We want to feel loved, and we want to give love, and it makes the world go round. You know, we've been talking about that for a long time. But something for me that came up prior to my true self-discovery and ability to be honest with myself and discover where different parts of these emotions are coming from within myself. I was finding that it being in that kind of survival mentality of things, and again, if you're not familiar with the content of my book, please do check it out. It's available in PDF and paperback form. But if you're not conscious of exactly where certain things are coming from, it can be really, really damaging to people around us, and to ourselves ultimately, because of that break in honesty and that break in really knowing where things are coming from. So what's worked for me personally, because I have really struggled with really even knowing what love is, what love means, how to give it and share it. And so I kind of was making those decisions subconsciously based on my survival, which was, this feels really good, this provides me with something that I need, and so yes, this is not something I'm going to choose for myself. And that's a lot of thought there, and thinking is very important. I talk about that a lot. I think a lot. I use my brain more often than I care to most of the time, honestly. It's, finding myself shutting it down in times of overwhelm or short-circuiting, I call it, when I just have so much going on in there that it just kind of, and I'm like, okay. So just stopping and finding that feeling more in the heart. What exactly is it that I'm doing? What exactly is it that I am yearning for? And am I truly receiving that from this person or from this thing that I'm engaging in? Whether it's, you see a lot of drug misuse, substance misuse, a lot of just we live in a codependent society. I mean, and it's a really good thing in a lot of ways. I'm a firm believer, as many know at this point, in the power of community and leaning on each other. And it takes a village, and we are that village. And we're here, and we've gone through so much, and we've built this beautiful, beautiful country. And we have these points of, these major universities where we can do crazy amounts of research and these awesome labs, and the system that we built is very beautiful, and it's also very broken, and it leaves us feeling very kind of having to grab onto things. Well, what's best, what's next, and for me, it wasn't until I was able to sit down and really actually stop and evaluate what's next. What's this? Where is this coming from? Recognizing my emotions separate from my feeling. My feeling, I've found, tends to come from my heart. And that, when I act from that, which is what I believe to be that place of love, that true place, and you can use whatever word you're comfortable with. I even say God at times. It's that place of pure love and genuine care and compassion for self and for others, which involves just wanting and needing to find those dark places in ourselves that don't know how to do these things or differentiate these things, and teaching them, experiencing with them the world, and showing them that it's okay for them to experience the world too. We all have those parts that are, some people call them dark or evil or the devil, however you want to say it. It exists in all of us, and because it exists in nature and exists in the world. And that is something I also speak on in my book as well. That, the human existence and experience is very similar to that of all of the rest of nature, in that we are trying to be better than we were before. Our DNA is always copying itself in every moment and attempting to create better versions of itself, and it's a struggle, and then we pass on and we move along and new things evolve through, and it's really, really beautiful. And it happens with insects, and it happens with plants and animals, and in that way we are the same as our earth. And I think when people are connected to Mother Earth in that way, that energy and that essence of that genuine understanding, because that the earth is going through the same thing, just at a slower and faster rate, different perceptions based on different abilities. We have these eyes, we are able to perceive the speed of light, whatever that means, whether or not that changes, and it's just very beautiful. The complexity of the world has left me oftentimes in those confused feelings, or in those ways that make me feel about like, well, what exactly is love to me, and what exactly do I need from the world? There's so much going on all the time, and so this video is intended to say, and to advocate, not that word, that's not the right word, but to just kind of say what worked and is working for me in terms of that self-discovery, that genuine compassion, that genuine love that I really believe we all want to receive and give, and need to receive and give. And that's slowing down and just stopping in the moments that we're able to, and taking in what's around us and breathing. And it doesn't have to be a big, fancy, crazy experience. It can really just be stopping for long enough to separate yourself from exactly what it is that's happening, and saying, okay, as opposed to this happening to me, perhaps it's just happening around me, and what can I do with that information? The emotion versus feeling, like that feeling coming from the heart, I believe that the emotion oftentimes comes from the thought. And so we experience something, and then we think about it, and we emotionally respond based on a specific thought, which is usually related to an experience that we've already had. And again, it's a survival tactic, and not everybody does this. I don't want to speak for everybody. I just know that I'm not alone in my experience, and I'm not alone in the way that I think and feel and do things. And I hope that the people who think and feel and do things in a similar way can gain something from this, and the people who don't might gain perspective in one way or another, so just there's that. I just want to put that piece in there, that I never speak for everyone, because I know that we all experience things very differently. But when the feeling is coming from the thought, I try to slow down now and say, okay, let's return it back to the heart and see where that's taking us. And sometimes it's hard and it's painful, because we want to survive, and we're scared that if we're following the heart and we're not thinking, we think we're not thinking, the brain is usually, for me, yelling at me like, no, you have to do this thing, because if not, the foundation of your life will not survive. Which it can be the smallest thing, whether it's, a roommate saying they're gonna move out and then not moving out, and then saying they're gonna move out and then not moving out, and then you're thinking all the time, oh no, so then you make decisions based on that person not moving out or moving out because you think, oh, I can't pay the rent all by myself, right? I'm using myself as a specific example one time. And what can I do to make sure that I can get the rent paid? That's a very good thought. That's good. It's really, really good to do that. But allowing that feeling that, oh no, I'm angry with this person because they're doing this to me, and now I can't pay the rent, so I have to make sure that I do this, this, and this to make sure I can do that. That's coming from a place of anger and upset, and that's okay. It's okay to be angry with people, but to make those decisions based on anger, for me, it just typically does not work out very well. And when I return to that heart and that place of love and that genuine feeling, as opposed to the emotion that is being derived from my thought, it's brought a whole new meaning to my life, truly. I can't even begin to explain. And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that, because since I've made that shift and have been really, really intentionally just trying to live from a place of love, and whatever that means in that moment, you know, without controlling myself, without controlling the people around me, and just trying to be as understanding as possible and trying to really resort to my heart and feel it. And, you know, I respect my brain, I respect every thought that I have, but I also respect the fact that I have intuition and I have feeling that does guide me in very, very good places. And when I follow that feeling, I don't lie, and I don't want to omit things. I don't want to, you know, because when I'm having thoughts, I'm thinking about, well, how can I do this to make sure that this comes out a certain way? And usually that involves other people for us. And that can, again, be dangerous, because then we're involving other people in our thoughts and our emotions and our ideals of what we want our life to look like, and it's affecting what their life looks like, and it's pulling them further away from their heart and their love. So yeah, I'm very guilty of these things. I have hurt a lot of people in the process of attempting to find myself, and I continue to do so in very unintentional ways. I'm just really, I can't explain it. It's just this thing. I see a better world. I feel a better world. I know I can't speak for everyone. I know I can't fix it. I can't make everything better. I can't make sorrow go away. I actually believe greatly that sorrow creates a lot of our personality and who we are, and it's what we do with that sorrow and what we do with those sufferings that create the world. And I wrote that in my book as well. What's excuse me, life is really just the process of how we choose to treat each other, or how we treat each other. And so I have a hope for humanity that we can do that with more intention and more thought on love and more feeling and intuition, and, you know, because it's just, yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening. Have a good day.